Let's do this one together. This one is showing implied form. It's a little bit of an optical illusion because it looks like parts of it are popping out and parts of it are going underneath. So the first thing I want you to do is with your pencil, I'm gonna do this box right here. It does not matter which box you choose to do. You can do whatever you want. With your pencil, you're gonna pick one spot inside your box. It can be anywhere, and you are going to put a dot with your pencil. Once again, this can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the middle. I am choosing to do the middle. Now this part is important. You need to make an even number of lines. If you do an odd amount of lines, this is not gonna work, okay? So on this one, I made 10 lines. We'll see what I get this time. And you can do this with me. So we're gonna start from the middle, and you're gonna start drawing lines out to the edge of your paper. It doesn't matter how they look. This is not something where it has to be perfect. You're just making lines. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5. That one I kind of messed up, so I'm gonna redo this one. You should be drawing light. Always, always, always. Draw light until you know it's right, because that way when you erase it, you won't be able to see it. Okay, I think I'm up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I also ended up with 10 lines. I want you to double check your paper. Make sure you have an even amount of lines. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I kept my finger there so I didn't lose track while I was counting. So now that you have your 10 lines, you're gonna make 2 types of lines. You're gonna curve one, kind of looks like an upside down U, okay? And then, so you're gonna curve one down and you're gonna curve one up. And you are going to do this opposite for each little section that you made. So I'm gonna start right here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this upside down U shape. I'm gonna curve a line like this. I'm going to space them pretty evenly apart. The middle of your curve should be right where the middle would be. And right here, I don't have enough room, but I'm gonna do half of whatever I have. So go ahead and make your curves going down. And now what I'm gonna do, excuse me, is I'm gonna go the opposite way, but they need to connect right here. So now I'm gonna make my curve going up. And I'm gonna turn my paper because it's easier for me to do it that way. Okay, now I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna make my curve going down. And I'm connecting it to this side. And I don't have enough room here. So you could just draw right off the page if you wanted to, if that's helpful, because we're gonna cut that out, or you can just skip that part. And I'm actually gonna do a little one right up here too, because I know in the end that's gonna make it look better. Okay, now I'm gonna do the opposite way. So this one is kind of like a U shape. As long as you're doing the opposite each side, it's gonna work. And connecting those lines, okay? I don't know why I turned it. So now my curve is going to go the other way. Make sure I connect. And I'm just gonna keep going, doing the opposite. And once again, right here, you don't wanna leave all this space here. So I'm gonna add another one, even though I don't have anything to connect it to. Every time, I'm just making sure I'm curving the opposite way. Okay, now that you've drawn your design, you can either do this with one of these skinny Sharpies, or you could use a black colored pencil. I want you to outline it. And now that all my lines are connected, when I'm tracing over it, I can just do it in one kind of continuous line. Trying to be as neat as you can. Neatness helps when you're making op art. Okay, now for the colored pencil part. So when you go to do your colored pencil, what I want you to do is I want you to color it dark on the edges, and you're gonna lighten it up in the middle, and that way it looks like it's kind of coming up in the middle or going back. So leave the middle light. So it's gonna look like this. And each one, you're gonna do opposite. So purple, white, purple, white, purple, white, purple, white, purple. It's easiest to do it this way. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna do my edges dark. And then as I come into the middle, I'm gonna lighten it up. And I don't want it to be a harsh line. I want it to be really nicely blended. And I know that's a little one. It's probably harder to see. But when I get to some of the bigger ones, will be easier to see. Okay, so I'm gonna go up this way. Purple, white, purple, darker on the two edges, and you can be doing this with me. And then you just wanna lighten up the pressure so it gets lighter as you go towards the middle. And then up here, the middle would be kind of right about here. So this is really gonna be completely dark. Okay, now when I go to this one, this one's purple. I want this one white. white, so I want this one purple. You just have to remember you're doing the opposite each time. This one would be white because that's purple. This one I need purple. So I'm going to do my edges darker. And I'm just going to leave that little spot in the middle where I come out and lighten my pressure. So it's just a little bit lighter in the middle. It's like this gradual kind of fade to lighter. Sometimes when you're using colored pencils, it's better to go in these little circles. It's called scumbling. Okay, so again, opposite. This one's gonna be purple. Fade it in the middle. Okay, and then I would do the whole thing, and what else? Last thing I want you to do, each one of your elements needs to be labeled. This one is form. If you want to write implied form, you can. Space, so on. So in one of my little blank spots, I'm just going to label it form. And that's how you do your implied form box.